Hey guys, just making this video actually as an appreciation video for all of those aquaponics forums out there, all those aquaponic websites, and in particular to Backyard Aquaponics and all of its forum members. The reason for that is simply that I feel like I owe them something. For the last 3 years now I've been reading articles and studying aquaponics. I became addicted when I just found it online. I can't even remember how I stumbled across it. But I've been trying all that time to find the right time in my life to set up an aquaponic system, and I've finally done it. So I just want to share that with you and let you know that the work you are doing is not going unused. So yeah, take a look at my system if you like. As a general overview, I have 3 grow beds, and you can see I've used the IBC system that most of you talked about up in the North Queensland where I am, in the Torres Strait actually. These are quite easy to come across, so I got them for free just by asking the right people. So I've got 3, 1 bottom and 2 tops of IBCs, 3 grow beds, around 150-200 litres worth. I've also got a sump tank, and I'm using the ebb and flow system with the bell siphons. And I know a lot of people have had trouble with bell siphons and some success, and I'll explain that in a bit more detail. The tank here is, obviously I've cut the top off, so it's really only about 750, maybe 800 a push litres. I've got jade perch in there, which I got from a farm in north of Cairns. You might see these guys are about, I've had them in here about a month since I finally got my fish in. They're starting to get used to me now. They know when it's feeding time. They're growing really quick, really healthy. The water's really clean. At the moment my pH is still a little high, but it's normal for new systems from what I'm reading, so I'm not too worried. Most of things that I've tried to grow so far we've had 95% success with, but a couple of things haven't worked too well. As some of you might notice, I have got a bit of an iron deficiency, but from reading some of the posts I think too, it may not just be that there's a lack of iron in the system, but just that it's not accessing it due to the high pH. So I'm going to give the spinach some time anyway, and as the pH lowers I'll keep an eye on that. The other one is the snow peas back here. They all grew up very well, looking a bit like this, and out of 5 plants you can see I'm down to 3, and the other 2 aren't looking too well. So something with my snow peas, I don't know if anyone's got any advice on that, but other than that, things are booming. This is a bitter cord or bitter melon. Got that from a Filipino lady up here. We've got okra growing here. We've got some sort of, I think it's pumpkin back there, or beans. Got some beans down over here. You can see the basil. This is the first thing I planted. You can see it's far more matured than the other plants. These are all just seedlings of about 3 weeks. The basil's quite matured. We've got some cucumbers and zucchinis going on here. Some eggplants coming up here, 2 different types of eggplants, and a couple of different beans. And over here we've got watermelons, rock melons, which are really taken off, especially with the climbing. I got tomatoes and some cherry tomatoes, some capsicum plants. I got about 2 different varieties of capsicums and a few chilies in here. I'm hoping they take off. At least 1 plant in each is going to grow, and that's all I need for the chilies. So yeah, that's my setup. I've basically followed the principles of the IBC and Evan's that great. I'll just quickly show you under here. I've got a backup bubble system in place. So I have made this myself, ordered a few parts online. As you can see, it's pumping away there at the moment, but yeah, I've got just a battery charger, 2 small motorbike batteries, just unhook that for now, and a small 12-volt pump. The part that I'm just waiting on at the moment to actually make this automatic is just a relay, a 5-pin automotive relay. It's going to go in there, so when the power dies, it'll kick over and switch the bubbles on. So I picked those batteries up for nothing, so that's partly why I made my own rather than going with a commercial model, because it's a lot cheaper for me to do this. But yeah, if you had to buy all of those parts brand new, it probably would actually be more expensive, or at least equally as expensive as, but I had a lot of fun making that anyway. So yeah, it works a charm. It's just a matter of getting that relay. But up here I've got to wait for things in the post. So that's done. Look, I will show you if you want to have a look down here in my sump tank. It's quite a big sump tank, which I wanted to make sure it worked properly. All my siphons did work. Once I set them up and adjusted them, they did work perfectly in the terms of they always came on, they always turned off. I've never had any troubles with that. It was just a matter of adjusting them in the beginning. But the one thing I noticed is they were a little bit slow, sometimes in coming on and not so much switching off, but sometimes switching off. But they always did, but they were a bit slow. So this system I rigged up as just an experiment to try to increase the speed at which the siphon would actually kick in. So at the moment it's hooked up to this grow bed and it's not ready to drain, so I'll switch back to that with the video when I get a chance and show you just how that's working. But that worked. Okay, yeah, just coming back to what I was going to mention. Well, there we go. One of my siphons has actually started by itself just now, which they do. And that one's actually got a pretty good speed on it. As you can see the angle of the pipe, it's coming down quite steep, and I found that's helped a fair bit. So I think that's a centre grow bed actually, that one. Yes, see the other pipe there for the fire grow bed, and this one here. It is a little different. I haven't noticed the system at all online or in any forums, but this one in particular was a bit slow starting, and I tried to adjust it and I tried to adjust and I didn't get anywhere. So I developed this system here. Basically it's a weighted pulley. On this end I've got a sinker, and I've got a pivot here, and I've got a cup, and as you can see that's actually filling up with water right now. And then the container is going to fill up with water until it gets heavier than the weight on the other end. And once it does that, it'll pull the cup off the end and allow the water to dump out of the pipe a lot quicker. And as soon as it does that, it should only be a few seconds until the siphon kicks there. It comes away and off it goes, and the siphon kicks in. So that actually worked really well for me. It is a bit big, I guess, for most setups, and a bit cumbersome. But it was my first try, and I thought another time around, in principle it worked. But it works every time. So what will happen is when this finishes siphoning out, the water will actually come out of this one through this tiny little hole until it's lighter than the weight on the other end, and it will lift itself back up into place there. And by slowing the initial water flow down, it allows the water to build up in the pipe, so that when it does open up, it's already full of water, and the weight of that water is enough to pull the air out of the system and start the siphon. So yeah, as you can see, it kicks in very reliably and in very quick time. So yeah, it'd be good to see something like that, a bit more simple and smaller. But, yeah. Here's the system just coming to a close at the moment, just to show you, just in case you want to see that happen. Dog loves the water. She's done away with her water bowl since I set this up. Just drank straight out of the sump tank now. Why not? It looks so clean, I almost feel like drinking it. Yeah, so you can see that it's starting to cut itself out now. So it's not the fastest siphon to cut out, but there it goes. Cough, cough. And now the container, again you can see the water still coming out through the little hole, and as it starts to lose weight, it starts to go back up in place, counterbalanced by a little cup there holding a sinker, so I could adjust the weight. I had 2 sinkers at first and I ended up going down to 1. I think it's just a size 3 or 4 bean sinker, and there you go. It's sitting in place again, ready to start that procedure over again next time. So that's it for me. The only other thing I thought I'd quickly show is here I'm trying to grow some duckweed, because I know that the jade perch, I've heard that they enjoy a bit of that as a treat every now and then. Had to order it online and it didn't make it too well through the mail, so I've only got little bits of it left, but I'm hoping that'll take off. I created these bins separately because there's too much water activity going on in my sump tank for that, and obviously I can't grow it in a fish tank because they'll just eat it. And you can see it gets quite agitated and that at times in here. So yeah, I've tried that. And the only other thing I've added to this system since I started it is, not the fish, but is just a little lettuce, just a little hack at an attempt to grow lettuce here. If anyone's got any comments about this, please let me know if you've done the raft style. I'm actually trying to seed them from within here. This is like potato hessian, and I wrapped it up, rolled it up, and it'll strip and put some seeds inside, and I'm hoping it'll seed, but it's been about a week now and there's nothing yet. In terms of seeding, are they too wet? Is it important if I rolled them too tight? Is there a better way to do it? I don't know, any comments about that? Feel free to say. Obviously it just goes up and down with the level of the sump tank there. It's got that siphon hose. But yeah, otherwise I've just had to put a bit of mesh up because some of these vines are starting to go crazy already, so they need some more space to grow. That's about it. Really, yeah. Thanks so much for all of your advice and support and information on the forums and all your sites out there. They're great. It's great information, and I hope that I can also share some of that with other people as we go along. Thanks a lot.